The sun was just rising above the tall trees of the old forest when Arif, a poor woodcutter, woke up to begin another hard day. His hut stood at the edge of the jungle, a small, broken shelter made of mud and straw, with a leaky roof and creaking door. Inside, his wife and little daughter still slept, their thin blankets barely enough to keep away the morning chill. Arif smiled softly, kissed his daughter's forehead, and picked up his old axe. Every morning he promised himself that one day things would get better, but life had its own way of testing him. He walked deep into the forest, humming an old tune his father used to sing. Birds chirped above, and the sunlight filtered through the thick branches, painting golden stripes across the forest floor. It was peaceful until a sudden sound broke the calm. A faint cry, high-pitched and desperate, like someone begging for help. Arif froze and listened. The sound came again, cree-cree, from somewhere behind a cluster of banana trees. He dropped his bundle of sticks and ran toward the noise. What he saw made his heart ache. A small monkey was trapped in a hunter's net, tangled and helpless. Its fur was dirty, and its tiny hands tried desperately to pull the ropes apart, but the more it struggled, the tighter the net grew. Its frightened eyes looked straight at Arif, full of pain and fear. Without thinking, Arif rushed forward. "Don't worry, little one, I'll help you," he whispered. He looked around quickly. The hunter was nowhere to be seen. Pulling out his small knife, the only sharp tool he had besides his axe, he carefully began cutting the ropes. The monkey twitched, frightened at first, but soon understood he meant no harm. After a few minutes of struggle, the final rope snapped and the monkey was free. It staggered, then jumped up onto a tree branch, staring down at Arif. Arif smiled. "There you go, you're free now." The monkey tilted its head, blinking curiously. Then, surprisingly, it climbed down again and placed one of its little hands on Arif's shoulder, just for a second, before disappearing into the trees. That night, Arif came home empty-handed. He had spent so much time rescuing the monkey that he hadn't gathered enough firewood to sell. His wife, Zainab, was worried. "Arif," she said softly, "we barely have anything to eat tomorrow. Maybe, next time don't get distracted." Arif nodded. He didn't blame her. Poverty makes kindness feel like a luxury sometimes. But deep down, he knew he had done the right thing. The first gift. The next morning, Arif stepped outside his hut and froze. There, lying in the dust near his door, was a small shiny gold coin. He picked it up, frowning. The coin glimmered brightly in the sunlight, real gold, without a doubt. But how? He had never even seen such a coin before, except in the hands of rich traders from the city. He looked around, no footprints, no visitors, just the quiet forest breeze. He went into the hut and showed his wife. "Zainab, look at this." She gasped, "Where did you get that?" "I found it outside." Her eyes widened. Maybe someone dropped it. Arif shook his head slowly. "There's no one around here to drop gold, Zainab." She smiled faintly. "Maybe it's God's reward." Arif sold the coin in the town market and bought enough food to feed his family for a week. But the next morning, when he stepped outside again, another gold coin lay waiting in the same spot. And the next day, there was another. For 7 days straight, a coin appeared every morning. Arif began to feel both grateful and curious. Something strange, something beyond his understanding, was happening. The mysterious follower. On the 8th day, Arif decided to find out where the coins were coming from. He woke before dawn and hid behind a tree near his hut. The forest was silent except for the rustling of leaves. For a while nothing happened. Then he saw it. A small shadow moved near the path, light and quick. It climbed a rock, looked around, and then dropped something shiny near the door. Arif's heart skipped a beat. It was the monkey. The same monkey he had freed days ago. It turned, saw Arif watching, and instead of running away, it made a soft chattering sound, almost like laughter. Then it leapt into the trees and vanished again. Arif stood there speechless. "So, you're my secret friend," he whispered. He didn't know how or why, but he knew this. The monkey was repaying his kindness. The man who became rich. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. The gold coins didn't stop. Arif built a new home, stronger and warmer than the old hut. He bought clothes, food, and finally, land. His neighbors watched in amazement. Some whispered behind his back. "He must have found treasure." "No, I heard he sold his soul to a jinn." "Or maybe he's working for the king secretly." But Arif only smiled. He knew the truth, it was not magic, only kindness returned. He didn't spend all the gold on himself. Every Friday, he visited the town's poor and gave away food, blankets, and sometimes even gold coins to those who needed them. When people asked why, he would say, "Because once I helped someone small, and that changed my life. I'm just passing the kindness forward." The hunters return. But not everyone was happy with Arif's success. One day, the hunter, the same one who had set the trap for the monkey, came to town. He saw Arif buying grain in the market, his pockets heavy with coins. The hunter recognized him instantly. "That man," he thought bitterly, "he was near my trap. He must have found my hidden treasure." Greed filled his heart. That night, he followed Arif home, hiding among the trees. When Arif went inside his house, the hunter crouched near the door, waiting to see where the gold came from. Hours passed. Just before dawn, the familiar sound came, rustling leaves. The hunter's eyes widened as he saw a monkey appear, drop a gold coin near the hut, and turn to leave. "So that's it," the hunter hissed. "That animal brings him gold." He raised his bow, aimed carefully, and fired. A sharp cry tore through the air. Arif rushed out in panic and saw his little friend on the ground, bleeding. "No, what have you done?" Arif shouted, kneeling beside the monkey. The hunter laughed harshly. "You've been stealing my luck, that creature was mine." Arif's anger flared like fire. "You don't own kindness, you only owned cruelty." Before the hunter could reply, something unexpected happened. A bright golden light shimmered around the monkey, its body began to glow softly. Both men stepped back in shock. The monkey's wounds vanished, and for a brief moment, its eyes seemed almost human, filled with wisdom. It looked at Arif one last time, then leapt into the air, higher and higher, until it disappeared among the treetops. And when the first rays of sunlight touched the ground, dozens of golden coins rained down where the monkey had vanished. The hunter, blinded by greed, lunged forward to grab them, but as soon as he touched the gold, it turned into dust. Arif stood silently. He picked up one remaining coin, the only one that stayed real, and whispered, "Thank you, my friend." The legacy of kindness. Years passed. Arif became one of the richest men in the region, but he never forgot how it all began. He built wells, schools, and shelters for the poor. Whenever people asked about his secret, he would tell the same story. "Once I saved a small monkey's life. I didn't know that kindness would come back 100-fold, but it did, and it taught me something precious. Wealth means nothing unless it helps others." In the evenings, when the sun dipped below the forest line, Arif would sometimes walk to the old tree where he had first found the monkey. He would sit quietly, smile, and whisper, "You changed my life, little friend. I hope wherever you are, you're smiling too." And sometimes, just sometimes, the wind carried a faint sound of laughter through the trees, as if the monkey's spirit was still watching, still grateful, still kind. Moral of the story, Herb. Kindness is never wasted. Even when no one sees it, the universe remembers. Sometimes your reward won't come right away, but it will come in the most unexpected, magical ways. Be kind, not because you want something back. Be kind because it's who you are. Red.